This video gives an overview of the required reflection process in the course. You'll have lots of flexibility with the reflection process, so I want to give you an overall purpose, some guidelines in the audience as you make your decision on how to structure your own reflections. The research on how people learn, and you can find that by Googling that name, it's a book out there, How People Learn, says that metacognition, or thinking about thinking, is the last step of learning. The reflections you do in the course are going to be focused on you going through that final phase of metacognition and reflection as you think about what you're learning, and you'll need to do that in a form so that I can just peer over your shoulder at times and see that you're doing it, and also hear what you're thinking. But the main purpose is that you're doing it. So there's the purpose. Audience. The audience for your reflections is me and others. This is one of the few times in the course where I'm in the audience. Most of the authentic work that you're doing in the course, you'll pick somebody else for the audience. But on this one, I want me and your peers to be the people that you're reflecting toward. So now, 2 guidelines. The first guideline is that your reflections are updatable, easily updatable. So what you'd want to do here is to be able to send me a link to my suggestion would be send me a link to your reflections, so you only have to send in a form that you only have to send it once. You don't want to have to do it like in a Word document where you have to keep sending me the updated version. You can do that, but that's hard. A couple of ways you could do that is as a blog, and then you could give me the link to the blog, and then I could see as you're adding it. Another way you could do it is a Google Doc if you want to do something that's in the form of like Word. But with a Google Doc, if you're not familiar with it, you can actually give me a pass into that. You could publish it for everybody in the world if you wanted to, or you could publish it more privately and then link me into it. And the idea about public and private is the second guideline. Be thinking about that. You can post these publicly like a blog where you post it for everybody, but if you do that, recognize that you'll need to be professional with any comments you make about school change, protect identities, all that kind of stuff. Public is fine. Just make sure you're blogging professionally, and probably keeping the focus on yourself and what you're learning, not the problems you're seeing with others and the problems they may be causing in schools. If you do it privately, as I mentioned before, if you're doing it privately, then that's where you're going to have to link me and possibly the whole class into your reflections. As you start the process, I'm not going to require anybody else to be in there other than me, but I'm hoping as the course goes on, you're going to want to add others into it, and eventually you may want to add everyone. So as you think about it, think about a form where it's easy to add other people in. Most technologies, you simply enter their email, and then they use their email as a way to get into the site. So that's the big picture. Think wisely about the form that you want to choose, and if you choose a form and it doesn't work and you need to switch later on, you can certainly do that. But I think putting a little bit of thought in at the beginning is going to keep you from having to switch right away. So, hope that helps.